Welcome back to the Anime Therapy Podcast, episode 12. Matt, how you doing?
Oh, I just pushed up my glasses. I'm ready to go.
Oh, okay. He's ready to analyze everything in half a second and then make the proper decision.
Oh, yeah.
That will change the course of everything.
I'm about to talk about one of the worst anime inventions ever, aka a bench.
Oh, okay. Thank God. I thought you were going for the smartphone meta again. I would have just been like, all right, let's restart. Yeah. Yeah, how about we just jump right into it? My task for you was, Oresuki, are you the only one that loves me? And before you start, world record breaking. The day after we recorded, he watched it all, including the movie. So go ahead.
So here's the thing, right? I'm gonna take Oresuki from a critic standpoint and then my standpoint, right? And I'll do the critic standpoint first because it's a lot harsher than my standpoint.
Yeah, of course.
If you critically look at this show, like, what the fuck is his name? Amatsuyu.
Mhm.
He should have not been friends with any of them by like episode 3.
No. Yeah.
Like,
he should have had more respect for himself and just said, fuck all these people.
right.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, there's the first half of the episode where he's like, I'm the rom-com protagonist.
Yeah.
Like, nothing could go wrong here. And then, the student council president sits him down at the bench. He's like, I'm in love with your best friend. And it's like, oh, no, why?
Mhm.
Okay. You know what? It happens, can't win them all.
Yeah.
Like, gotta help her out.
Gotta keep on trucking.
And then, childhood best friend comes in, and, there's the running gag in rom-com anime where it's like, the childhood best friend, most of the time, has some sort of secret feelings for the main character. And it's like, alright, bet, this is gonna work this time. And then she's like, first, can you have a seat? And I'm like, wait, that's the exact same thing the student council president said. And then she keeps talking, and I'm like, these are the exact same words that the student council president said.
Yeah.
She's gonna be in love with Sun-kun, isn't she? Oh look, she's in love with Sun-kun. And I'm like, and he was just like, I think the Japanese voice actor said it in English. He was like, deja vu.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, pain.
Yep.
So much pain. And it's like, okay. So now you have. He should have just straight up the bat said, I got the same confession from the student council president the day before. And it should have been like, now I can't help either of you because I'm friends with both of you.
Yeah.
Which is, what a smart person would have done. And then, he goes to the library, right? Because he's all alone and he gets, he's like sad and stuff. And then he meets the mysterious library girl who's, like,
Best girl?
She's a baddie for sure.
Yeah.
But
Best girl in my opinion?
she's second for me. I have a different best
Okay,
girl.
alright. Interesting.
And she, so mean to him, but he's also so mean to her.
Mhm.
And then it's only
It's a loving relationship.
Yeah, absolutely. It's only when he's lost everything that she's like, hey, guess what? Rips off the frickin' thing that's somehow hold those baboombas in.
Yeah.
She's like, guess what? I'm really hot. And he's like, alright, bet.
Yeah.
Like,
But
and
you're
it's
also
like for all
crazy.
of the, dude, it's so toxic. Like
Mhm.
it's like for all the mean things that she does, it's like, oh, I'm gonna do this one little nice thing.
Yeah.
And then he's like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm fine with this now, And it's like the episode 3 when she's like, sets up Sun-kun and is like, "Hey, dude, why'd you just destroy, Amatsuyu's reputation?" And he's like, he admits to doing it, and then he's like, "I did it because, somebody told me that, somebody that I had a crush on told me that they were in love with, I guess, Joro, is his nickname, right? Because they all do like nicknames in that show.
Makes it a lot easier to understand who's screwing who.
It does, yes. And he's like, I was jealous and like all this shit, and he came out of the fucking library and he's just like what's up? And then the next episode, the library chick's like, hey, you should reconcile with all of them, because all of them want to apologize, and it's weird, you guys aren't friends. And it's like, dude, are you serious?
Yeah.
Like, what? Do you have like no self-respect for yourself? Which he doesn't. Right. Like that character just doesn't.
Right.
And so like,
he's relatable and he's on a mission, but he's so unrelatable in the sense that it doesn't matter what you and I have ever gone through. We still had respect for ourselves. And he's just like, no.
It's just like, why are you doing this yourself? Yeah. Right? So, critically, like, anything past there for the show is just kind of stupid, right? Because it's like, why are you still friends with these people? Like, just because you're having good times now doesn't mean they won't stab you in the fucking back later, right? I mean, they don't in the show. It's just the classic harem rom-com switch where it's like, actually, we all made mistakes except for the library chick who's like, I've always loved you. And all the girls are like, we like you now. Yeah. And it's like, newspaper girl, I'm gonna sabotage your entire reputation by saying you assaulted 3 women. Yeah. And it's like, huh? Like, what? Are you serious? Yeah. Like, oh my god. I would be like, hello, school? This person just posted an inflammatory article about me with no proof about it.
Defamation.
Get her fucking expelled. Yeah. Like, are you serious?
Don't trust a recluse with a camera.
Like, thank God the fucking, a restaurant girl came in and it was just like, you bought all my stuff one time, like, I love you, like, I'll get you a job too. And it's like, finally, someone with, their
finally some good fucking food.
Right. Yeah. And, oh man. And then, you have the, one, super tsundere girl. Yeah. Who's like, when that article gets posted, I mean, you read that and it's like, it's gotta be true. Yeah. You're a creep. Yeah. Get the fuck out. Like, you're disgusting. Yeah. Get out of this school, And then when it's found to be fake, it's like, crap, I'm a tsundere and I have to apologize. Yeah. How do I do that?
Tell me that's not your favorite.
No, she is my favorite. No! I really do like her a lot.
No, I hate her.
No. Asaka Mayama. Yeah. So.
Asaka my dick. Oh shit!
Got him!
Yes! Let's fucking go.
That's why she's my favorite.
Yeah. She's Imagine Dragons as a character.
Yes, absolutely. But yeah, I mean, for tsundere, there are a lot of cute moments between her and Toro, where it's like, I could tell she really is trying her best, and also her 4 friends being like so supportive. That's just so cute. Yeah. To me. Where it's like, she's like, I'm sorry, and then like runs away, and her friends are like, let's go, like, you did it, like. Yeah.
She's got a good group of friends. Like they're actually like good friends, and I mean, I just am tired of tsundere tropes. Like, the only good tsundere, in my opinion, is Noelle from Black Clover, and I'm just like kind of over all the other ones.
I think it's overplayed for sure, but obviously that's just gonna be a trope in anime. But like, I liked how her character did it because she was always tsundere, and then she like, she had that attitude with him for a good reason, not just like
Right.
out
Not
of the
because I
blue,
like you
like
or anything, Babaka, you know, like it
yeah,
wasn't any of
yeah,
that.
nothing like that. It was like, crap, I made a mistake. It was like, hey, you're a terrible person. And then when the article came out, it was like, oh crap, I made a mistake. I judged somebody based off of,
Yeah.
something that wasn't true. I need to figure out how to apologize, which happens at, the pool
Yeah.
episode.
Favorite episode.
And then later from there, oh yeah, I love that episode. And throughout the rest of the anime, it's like, she's like, I made a mistake, so I need to evaluate who this person actually is. And when she does, she's like, oh crap, like this
Yeah.
is somebody that's actually a good person and somebody that I like.
It's funny. I actually was misremembering. I do actually really like the tsundere girl. It's the blonde-haired girl that I didn't like. I forgot who she was. I think maybe she was the worker.
That's the baseball manager.
Baseball manager. Yeah. I did like the tsundere girl, the one with the reddish hair.
Huh.
Yeah. He's in line with her at the pool, and yeah. Okay.
And she turns around and is like, my friend, made this mistake. And,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
He's like, literally just apologize.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't want to do that.
So critically speaking,
that show should be like a 2. Like, it's so bad. Joro makes so many fucking bad decisions, and he just gets stepped on.
yeah. Well, and all the characters are just kind of mean, like for no reason, and then you get to the end, like the big final, everything comes back to the baseball game.
Okay, so the baseball game happens, but let's talk about the thing before that, right? That's another thing that goes into my critical review. What Japanese school closes a fucking library?
None.
Okay, like, do you remember that?
Yeah.
I just, what school closes a library? I'll just put it like that too. Like, when that became a plot point to introduce, the Yasuo guy, I was like, why? It could have been literally anything else. It could have been like, hey, we have a long-standing tradition of a dual school festival.
Yeah.
And, this is going to happen. And then, the library girl and Yasuo like see each other and they're like, you're the girl who I have loved for a long time. And that could have been introduced that way. Not, hey, we're closing a learning resource for all of our students because nobody uses it.
Mhm.
Like, bruh, what the fuck? That makes zero sense.
It makes more sense for a librarian recluse to close the library herself to protect the books that she wants to save. Yeah.
Right, like, I just hated that plot line just to introduce that character. It could have been as simple as, Toro's like, I made a really good friend, and I'm gonna introduce you to my friends. Here we go. Oh, that's a problem. I did like that everything came back to the baseball game, but
I mean, that was that was like the MacGuffin of the show, was the baseball game, because like you said, every single time he thinks that they're going to talk to him, right? Up until a certain point, because then he starts to realize, he's like, all right, where's the fucking bench, right? Like, the bench has got to be here somewhere, and then the bench shows up, but every single time it was at the baseball game when I fell in love with Sun, and it's like,
or it's like for what's it, Sumeriko, that's the library girl, when she talks to Sun and is like, I'm in love with Joro, and it's like, it all started at the baseball game.
yeah.
And it's like, even for Sun, it's like, ah, damn.
Yeah.
The baseball game.
Dude, the best part though, the best use of that bench, because it's the running gag of the bench, and then Joro and Sun-kun, he like sits him down at a bench, and he's like, what the fuck is going on here?
It's like, dang, Joro, are you the only one that's gonna love me? And so critically, that's what I'll say about the show. Like 2 or 3, Joro, get some damn respect for yourself,
Yeah.
right?
Well, and real quick, based on that, this show takes what you thought you knew about slice of life rom-coms and completely flips it on its head. Like, this is nothing like it, but it's still slice of life. It's still very realistic, with the exception of the bench. But like, I think the metaphor is it could be any bench. But I love the like purple, dark, ominous aura that comes off the bench.
Also, you like they don't even show the bench sometimes. They just show the like side, whatever like the, you know, like on the side of a chair.
Yeah,
I don't know what those.
Yeah. The
like
end
whatever
piece, the end arm
yeah.
pieces. Yeah.
Yeah, the armrest, I guess. And you see that like golden armrest, and you're just like,
Uh-oh.
it's the bench.
Here we go again. Yeah.
Oh boy. So yeah, that's critically speaking. Personally speaking, for me, I give it a 9.
Yeah, let's go.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Because essentially, right off the bat, you just have to suspend all like, all right, this dude hates himself. Like, you know, whatever. This is what this show is going to be.
Yeah.
So if you don't like that kind of show, I don't recommend Oresuki, right? But if you can suspend your disbelief and just live in the world, it's so freaking funny.
Yeah. Would you agree that like why I've been saying for all this time is that it's one of the funniest animes I've ever seen, because it just fucks with you the whole time. And it's so self-aware.
Because the first confession, you know, from the student council president, it's like,
oh,
you know, as an avid slice of life rom-com watcher, I'm like, that first confession hurt, and it's like, oh no, like Toro, you know what? Don't help her. Like that's so depressing. And you're like, oh, you're gonna help her. Okay. And then the second confession happens, and it's the same thing, right? And then my brain immediately switches from, oh no, Toro, to, ah shit, here we go again.
Yeah. Oh,
and I'm like, okay, this is what it's gonna be. Whenever the bench shows up, it's gonna be whoever's sitting across from the confessor is not the person who they're gonna confess to.
Yep.
It's gonna be, I'm in love with somebody else.
Yeah.
Except for the one exception where Jorah's like, don't confess to me. Please don't confess to me. Don't say you love me. She's like, I love you. And it's like, ah,
son of a bitch. Yeah. Well, I'm glad
yeah,
that you liked it so much, because I also really like that anime.
Dude, the characters, shitty as they are fantastic as well. Like, dude, they're all so good. Like, Hinata like always like slapping Jorah's back, and Jorah's just being like, "You fucking like psycho monkey! Like, you don't have to hit me so hard every morning." Like,
Yeah. And then the one time that he dodges it, she just fucking face plants.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that stuff was all good. I mean, dude, I did not expect for the library girl to be the attractive girl that was gonna be, you know, like the main plot point.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, okay, surprised. Where it's like, I have to hide from a demon, and it's like, what? Do you have like a stalker or something like that? And it's like, nope, I just have someone who loves me that's incredibly manipulative.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, oh, okay, sure, totally understand that.
Yeah. Yeah, and when you get that reveal on the library girl too, it's like, you know, the scene from The Mask, Jim Carrey's The Mask, when he sees Cameron Diaz for the first time, it's just like jaw drop, eyes out. It's like, whoa, was not expecting that. And then, you know, she just keeps herself hidden the whole time, and then, you know, every once in a while, fucks with Joro a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, all of the plot points that I was critical of, if you suspend disbelief, become like, oh no, Joro, here you go again.
Yeah.
Like, what are you getting yourself into this time? And it's like, so like the newspaper thing, like critically, that's terrible. Like, she should not do that. But the student council president, like, flips it around, does a lot of investigative work for Joro, and finds out that, like, hey, newspaper girl, you fucked up. You did something incredibly wrong, and you need to, you know, fix it. And so, like, he stands up for her, or she stands up for him there. Um, like Hinata buys the book, like a fresh copy of the book for him, which was that whole thing was a little weird, even with like the whole disbelief stuff, because he's like, this book got trashed. I'm gonna get a job so that I can buy the new book for the library girl,
Yeah.
Sumareko, and she just shows up and is like, "Hey, I bought the book for you," and it's like, why do you do that for him when he's working hard to buy it for her? And it's probably because she's starting to understand that, hey, I have feelings for him. If I buy him the book, like, maybe we'll make things okay between us, right?
Yeah.
Yes, pool episode.
Woo!
So funny that all of the problems that the girls caused were solved by Sun-kun. And it's like, with his swim trunks falling off, him getting slapped in the back by the student council president, riding a pink dolphin by himself.
Yep.
The whole like hot, like sauna type of thing. Sun-kun always fixed everything. And they like run off into the sunset together, and at the end he says like, nothing's better than a high school boy. I was like, oh my god. I showed
Sus?
my fiance is an avid BL lover, and so I showed her that episode, and she was just like, nice.
Yeah, she probably loved that.
Real quick though, I'm assuming she's seen Ouran High School Host Club.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So does she love the twins? Is that like her favorite?
Yeah, that's a big big plus for her.
That's the only thing I know, because I just watched your real quick shout out, I guess, to your bud Tevin. He does the anime drinking games where he sets rules and then gets other people to like drink every time a rule happens in an anime. And I just watched his newest one where they watched Ouran. Well, he watched it with one other person. He watched Hamtaro, which I completely forgot that existed.
That's so awesome. Yeah, I forgot that existed too.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
One of the rules was like, anytime a non-hamster animal shows up, drink. And then anytime one of the parents like makes fun of or picks on the kid. Anyways, the second part of the episode, someone else showed him Ouran High School Host Club. So I watched like a little bit of the first episode, and I was like, twincest, huh? Interesting. Okay. If people keep wanting me to watch this show, like, I'm still not going to. Anyways, back.
It's certainly a weird trope, but yeah. And then the episode where, I mean, the library stuff is whack in both scenarios, where it's like, all right, you could have come up with a better solution, a better problem to introduce this character. But the whole competition for Sumariko's, love, essentially, was really funny. Because he's like,
Frozen again.
He gives the bonnets to the three girls, right? And then Sumariko, and then there's the two posse girls that are with Yasuo, who obviously love him. And Toro's like, I've got 4 bonnets, I got this in the bag. And then immediately the 3 girls are like, here you go, Yasuo, here are the bonnets.
Yeah.
And it's like, we gave them to him because we all love you. And Toro's like, no, my plan.
Yeah. They're so manipulative. They're just like, oh, you're trying to, we see that you're trying to be smart and win, so fuck you, we love you.
Yeah. It's like, that's just so good. And how they're like, at the end, he's like, didn't say that you could only get bonnets from these girls, ladies, come on. And he's like, yeah, now I've got 10 and you've got 4. And Yasuo's like, yeah, I knew that as well. So I called all of the girls. He's like, I have 98 now.
Yeah. Jesus Christ.
And then Sun-kun, once again, coming in clutch, bringing all the baseball fans after they win the game to come help out his best friend, and you know,
So could you
I
recognize that when you finished episode 12, before you watched the extended episode, the movie or whatever,
yeah. Hmm.
could you recognize that when I watched episode 12 and that ended, I was like, what the fuck? For like a year and a half, I was like, what? Like, they can't just end it on this.
Oh, so there was a delay between 12 and then the 13 through 15 episode.
Yeah, so those came out a year and a half later.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Okay, I feel bad for people who watched Oresuki then in time.
Yeah.
Because at the end, you know, the thing gets lifted up and he's like, no, this isn't where our story ends. We have more to tell. And if it just ends like that, it's like,
Yeah. I was
Where-
watching it week to week too, so
where is the more to tell? I
Yeah.
do not see.
that's why I was saying when I was suggesting it to you last week, I was like, you're so lucky that it's all out right now because I did not have that luxury. I had to wait.
Okay,
Yeah.
that is fair. Then yeah, I mean,
So you give it a 9 out of 10?
yeah, it was fantastic. It was so funny. Just like, if I'm like not critically looking at this, it was just such a blast, and I had so much fun. The characters were all so fucking toxic, and it was hilarious, and it was just like,
Yeah.
it was such a wild ride where it was like, oh, there's finally like a good guy. Nope, he's a manipulative sadist. Like, okay, all right, there we go.
Yeah. Well, I'm really glad that one, I was able to get that recommendation out to you, and two, that must have been a really fun day for you. Watching it
Yeah,
all.
I was like, it was such a good like experience where I love animes where I'm like, I don't want to stop watching this. Like, I want to watch this to completion right now because what else could possibly happen, right? And you know, I said at the beginning of the episode that I kind of hate the bench, but you know what? The bench served its purpose.
Yeah.
And it was it is the antagonist of all rom-com anime watchers.
Yeah.
Where you have two people and you think one person's gonna confess to the other, and they just confess to somebody else, to liking somebody else, and it's like,
or on the other hand, being like, you're a really great friend, getting friend zoned. Yeah.
yeah, if you say I like someone else or you're a really good friend and let's stay friends, man, it's pain, especially if there's history of like, like sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I last thing I'll say about Oresuki would be, remember when we did the villain draft, the anime villain draft, and I mentioned in honorable mentions the bench? Yeah, I really I was like, man, I really wanted to pick him, but I don't want to like describe the bench before you had watched it because I just wanted you to watch it so you knew.
No,
so you
that's fair.
understood.
The bench is definitely in my top 10, but doesn't crest the top 5.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, go watch the villain draft episode if you haven't. My top 5 are pretty messed up, but the bench the bench personally attacks me, and I'm just like, I don't like.
I'm in. What's the reason for your report? I'm in this video and I don't like it. Well, cool. I'm glad that you liked it. 9 out of 10. I consider that a dub. You know, on my end, I'm glad. I don't think I could recommend anything that will get that high of a rating in the future, but who knows? We'll see.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah, it definitely won't be King's Game. That show sucked.
That show does suck.
Oh,
But
you have
the
seen
manga
it.
is that? Huh?
Oh, that's right. We've talked about it. You have seen
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I've seen it. The manga is better.
Yeah. That's right. We did talk about that. Damn, because I was gonna be like, I want to recommend that to you just for the intro because the intro is so fucking good. Cool. Well, I guess I'll get started on the task that you gave me, which was Classroom of the Elite. And I just wanna say this first. You said watch the first season. If you don't like it, you don't have to watch the second season. How the fuck am I not gonna watch the second season after that first season, dude? Like, it ends like in the middle of the fucking island test. I was like, dude, I'm gonna keep watching. Hell yeah. I really enjoyed it. I will say I'm a little mad that you pick something so new because it's not done.
Right.
The second season ends on like the most interesting cliffhanger.
So here's the thing about a Classroom of the Elite right now. There are like, I want to say 12 light novels that encompass year 1. So we're at about like light novel 6 right now. And so there's probably two more seasons of year 1, and the first 3 books of year 2 are out.
Oh wow.
So this series they didn't like make it to the end of year 1, and publishers were like, we're not doing well enough, so we're cutting it off here. Like, they're starting year 2, so they're doing well enough where people are like, yes, give me more.
Yeah.
Like,
Give me a manga after midnight.
Yeah, gimme Ayana Koji after midnight.
Okay.
Like,
all right, okay, a bit of a stretch, but okay.
My guy is too short for everybody.
Yeah, you told me that was your favorite character, and one of your favorite characters in anime in general. Which, after watching all of it,
Do you see why?
I see why you might need to see someone.
No, I don't
because
see anybody.
what the fuck, dude? He's a little bit relatable, right? Like, maybe like when I was in high school, I was feeling like, you know, I'd rather just have no feelings than all these feelings that I'm having. I would rather just be completely, I guess, sociopathic and just like have no feelings whatsoever. But I'll get into that in a sec. I did want to start.
He's an emotionless, big brain gamer, and that's what I respect about him. He's playing literally everybody.
Yeah, 5D chess with like 8 different people at once.
Right.
All separate games. He pulls a Queen's Gambit on everyone. He's just like, yeah, I'm gonna play 8 games at once and destroy everybody.
He's that guy that walks around the table, and it's just like, yeah, just doing all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. So let me start off. I guess I'll save my rating for afterwards. But let me start off with, I want to say it was like the first episode. I wrote down a quote that was super relatable. It did not come from Ayana Koji, but it came from Horikita. Suzune Horikita, the main girl. And she said, and I quote, that's what she said. Being alone is not synonymous with being lonely. I've been completely alone for the past 9 years, so what's another 3 to me? She said that, and I paused, and I was like, hold up. I gotta write that shit down. Because if that's not one of the most relatable things to me, this is gonna sound sad, but that was super relatable to me because, one, I have always talked about how being lonely and being alone are not the same thing, and I'm sure people understand that, but I felt like I had to tell people that, like, I feel lonely even though I had friends, right? I felt lonely for a long time, probably close to 9 years. I felt very lonely. But she is talking about how she is not lonely. She's just alone, and she's okay with that. And that was something that I also related to on the other end, which is I spent a lot of my life in like a solitary recluse type of mindset where I was totally okay with not hanging out with anyone, being in my room, staying away from everybody, and I was totally fine with it. I didn't feel like I didn't feel bad about just being alone. I preferred being alone, and I entertained myself like greatly, like video games, anime, movies, TV shows, books, whatever. I was totally fine with all that. So that was super relatable, and that was in the first fucking episode. And I was like, damn.
Yeah, that's a pretty powerful quote. I think that to just expand on that a little, I think extroverts don't understand that quote. Like, if you say that to an introvert, like, they'll be like, yep, totally understand that.
Yep.
Like, may not have personally felt that before, but I can absolutely understand where she's coming from. But you say that to like somebody who's wildly extroverted, they're like, I cannot comprehend that quote because
I
if
can't
I
live
am
without other
alone,
people. Yeah.
yeah. So that's why, us too, when we hear something like that, it's like, yep, absolutely understand that. Because it's like, there are times where, I've just wanted to be alone and like I haven't spoken with friends and stuff like that. And it's like, I love this time. Like, I love what I am doing by myself right now. So yeah, I'm glad that I forgot about that quote. I'm glad. I do remember that Classroom of the Elite though does hit you pretty fucking hard right off the bat.
That was in the first episode when Kushida, the crazy bitch,
Oh yeah.
when she convinces Iona Koji to like plot to get Horikita at the cafe alone to like hang out with her. That was when that happened. She like gets up and she leaves, and like Kushida's like, don't you feel lonely? And then she says that she said being alone is not synonymous with being lonely. And I was like, holy shit. That was in the first episode, and I was like, I'm in. Well, I was actually really in by the end of the first episode when they introduced the whole like point system. I was like, the school is like a game. You got me, Matt. You got me. It's school, but it's a game. I was like, all right, let's fucking go. So I wrote down a few things, like favorite character and best girl, and least favorite character. Now, I had a favorite character right off the bat throughout pretty much the entire show, with the exception of towards the end with season 2. I started to really like another character, but my favorite character, holy shit, I was sitting here watching it, and on my own, this is how you know that I am enjoying something, like a show or a character, when I'm alone in my room and I'm being verbal, and I'm talking to myself about what I'm watching. Koenji is by far my favorite character. He's the fucking hot dude who's absolutely jacked and he's full of himself.
Oh my god.
The blonde dude. I fucking love him. And he just straight up pulls a Tarzan on the island. He's just like running through the things, and he's like, I was feeling a little under the weather, so I came back to the ship, and he's just sipping like fucking pina coladas, right? Like sipping on drinks or whatever. I absolutely love that character.
That's so funny.
He is so. I remember the first time, because like he's the first, really like one of the first characters to say anything in the first episode when they're on the bus, and Kushida is like, "Hey, can you give up your seat for this old lady?" And he's like, just basically shits on her, like, why should I be penalized for being young, and right? Why should I sacrifice my energy for her? And also, why are you asking me? There are plenty of other people that can give up their seats. I was like, get fucking wrecked.
Right.
But I was like, okay, this guy's an asshole, right? I didn't like love him at that time. It was when they first show him with his clothes off, like in a Speedo, and he's just jacked. I was like, bro, what? All right. Love this guy. And then and then in season 2, Ryuen and his posse from Class C, Albert, tried to intimidate him because they're like, are you the mastermind behind Class D? And he's like, you really think I would waste my time being a mastermind? I don't even really care if I pass the tests or not. He's just, love that guy. He's my favorite character for sure. But then my second favorite character would be Ryuen. I thought,
okay,
I don't want to say I'm attracted to the assholes. That sounds wrong. I'm not attracted to the characters that are horrible. I just think that in this show, the really bad characters lend themselves to the story very well.
Well, because the school sets itself up as a competition, right?
Yes.
And it's like, you get status if you're in like if you make it to class A, like boom, you're set for life. Like
Yeah.
you'll get college recommendations, all this sort of shit. Also, you'll get money, right? Based off your points. So to survive.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, these people aren't assholes because I mean they could be assholes just because they're bullies in general, but it's also because, you know, to a point, these people understand more than the others that this is a fight for survival.
Mhm.
And if you don't do what you have to do, then you just be in classroom D. Like you're not gonna
Yeah.
get anything. So.
And that's where Koenji is. He's like, I don't really care. Because I was looking at him after seeing more and more of him, I'm like, how the fuck is he in class D? He's Albert level, right? He's class C at least. But then it makes sense because he doesn't give a shit, right? He's just like
he's mean to be mean and doesn't give a shit. Whereas somebody like Ryuen is like, I'm a dick, but I'm also smart.
Yeah.
And it's like,
and I'm a dick for a purpose. I'm trying to destroy all the other classes.
right.
Yeah, and that scene towards the end of season 2 when Ayano Koji goes in there, kicks everybody's ass. I was like, ooh, battle anime. Ooh, battle anime. I was like, yes.
Shonen.
Yeah. I was like, this is so awesome. I love this. And he just absolutely kicks everybody's ass. And while he's literally emotionless, beating the crap out of Ryuen's just basically laughing at him and being like, yeah, keep beating me up, I guess. I'm just gonna keep talking shit. I was like, all right.
Like, dude, where did this guy come from? Like,
Dude. It was so good. Yeah, I don't really have much to delve into other than like what I've already delved into. I liked the show. I thought it was very entertaining. I watched all of it in the span of 2 days. And I thought it was very enjoyable. I love the aspect of like point systems and like trying to beat other people because it feels like a game. I will say best girl. It's funny. First thing I wrote that I've scratched out since was Horikita, which I do like her.
That's where it starts, but you know,
Right.
there's obviously a better best girl.
Right, like Airi Sakura. I can't see your face right now, so I don't know how you're reacting to that.
My guy is absolutely correct.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
No.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Airi Sakura. But here's the thing. Who I was looking for before I wrote Sakura, because I was like, oh yeah, her. I really like her. Was from Class B, the main chick from Class B, which I can't.
Are you talking about the silver-haired girl?
The Sakayanagi? Because that's from Class A. That's the daughter of the director.
Oh, right.
I'm not talking about her. I'm talking about Class B. The girl that like helps Ayano Koji out. She has like 2 million points, right? She is trying to just buy her way into Class A.
Yeah. I can see her face. I just don't remember her name. But yes, she is also very good.
Yeah, I was gonna say her, but then I saw Sakura. I was like, oh yeah, never mind. Like, dude, it got insanely dark out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah,
all the time. Like with her name is Honami Ichinose. Yeah, she.
Oh yeah. Okay, I just pulled up a picture of her. Yep.
She was just so helpful, and like once you realize how fucking crazy and how shit of a person Ichika is, right? That's her name. The crazy chick. What's her name? Kushida. Kikyo Kushida.
Yeah.
Once you realize, because here's the thing, right off the bat, her niceness, I was like, oh, she's really annoying. I'm finding her very annoying, and I hate this trope of like, you know, like the.
Let's all be best friends and study together.
Like high pitched voice. I'm just like, shut the fuck up, you're annoying me. And then it shows that it's all an act, and I was like, cool. I hate you from now on. First off, you showed me the worst trope the trope that I hate the most. And now you're actually a crazy bitch. Cool. I double don't like you forever.
It's like how Rent-A-Girlfriend fans feel about Mami-chan.
Okay. Don't know the reference, but you guys, I'm sure, will get it. I was thinking that Ichinose, she was so nice, so helpful, not backstabby at all. And I was like, there's something. After seeing the Kushida thing, the reveal of Kushida, I was like, she's gotta have a secret. She's gotta be evil, right? There's no way that someone from Class B, the leader of Class B, would be so helpful to all the other classes for no reason. And I was like, there's gotta be something wrong. And there never was. The only reveal for her was that she was just trying to buy her way into Class A. Seems valid to me, right? Like, if you can't beat them and you can't join them, buy them, right? The Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos strategy, right? So I liked her a lot. But I'm waiting. I'm gonna watch more when more comes out, but I'm waiting to see if there's something suspicious about her.
I will say the one credit I do give to Kushida, which, yes, her character is not great, but I think that showing that very early on in this anime that people are going to be two-faced makes it so that when you're evaluating characters in the future, just like you're doing with the Class B girl, there is always that little voice in the back of your head that's like, she has an ulterior motive.
Right.
I don't know what it is, but gotta watch out for her.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, why is this person trying to be friends with me? Like,
Yeah.
Gotta watch out for that. And that's what we're doing, but Ayana Koji's like, I've already planned 200 moves ahead. I know exactly what's gonna happen. Like,
yeah. I will say, like, I was really enjoying the show, really enjoying Ayana Koji, but I got to a point where I was like, Ayana Koji is, like, not a great dude. But not because he's malicious. He has no capability of being malicious. He's just strategy, 100% strategy.
Right. And he takes it, he's like how Yasuo kind of was in Oresuki, where he's really only taking into consideration what he needs people to do. And that's it. Doesn't care about their feelings, doesn't care about, only cares about their feelings when he needs them to feel validated for a reason he's already taken into consideration.
Yeah.
Like, that's it.
I love the parallel, and if you think about it, I love the parallel between your favorite character and my favorite character, because one of which is Giga Chad Brain, right? And he's not showing it off to anybody, which Koenji doesn't, like, he talks about himself so highly, but he also doesn't talk about how smart he is. He is really smart, but he doesn't apply it as much, I would say. But anyways, the parallel between Ayana Koji and Koenji is, like, when they're on the island and he's, Ayana Koji's inner monologue, he's like, wow, Koenji really is amazing. He's so talented and all this, still with no emotion. He's like, he's and then there's just Koenji who's like, yes, I'm amazing, I'm the most beautiful. It just, they're so different, but I love that moment that Ayana Koji has where he analyzes Koenji, but he kind of just, like, with everybody else, he's considering how he can use everybody else. Like with oh god, it's not Toru, it's god, what's his name? The meathead that gets framed. Yeah. Like, he's like, we can use him. We don't want him expelled. He's useful to us. He never really, like, looks at Koenji and he's like, yes, I have a plan for you. He's just like, he's useful, but also everybody can see how useful he is. He's just full of himself. So he has no, like, inner plan, at least at this point, for Koenji. He's just like, I'm just gonna let him do what he wants to do because he's just being useful, even though he will during the fucking sports festival, they're like, hey, why don't you help us with these? And he's like, I've come down with a light cold again. And he's just like, do something, you motherfucker. But also, I love you. Yeah, the reason why Sakura is best girl to me is, you know, she's the only character that actually, like, shows that she has feelings for Ayano Koji and, you know, gets all flustered. And the shyness is, to her extent, not that relatable, but just in general, the shyness and fear of strangers is somewhat relatable, especially for someone who has social anxiety or is an introvert and is like kind of forced to go out into public. I haven't really had that issue, but I really liked her. I don't know if I'm wrong or not, but I think her English voice acting switched from season 1 to season 2, but that's...
I do not know about that.
That's just something I would have to look up on my own. I don't know, she's also just... Oh! One thing I wanted to make sure that I mentioned, we're reaching about an hour now, but I really wanted to mention thank you. Because you've finally given me some good fucking fan service. Like...
You're welcome.
What you've recently showed me, like, even The World God Only Knows. Really no fan service except one episode with the mom in the shower, but that was it. Everything else was a little, like, it was a little too cutesy, and, you know, they're obviously high schoolers, so there wasn't a whole lot of fan service. But this, I was like, yes, finally. Yes, we get booba shots.
Finally,
Hooray.
some good fucking boobs.
Yeah. Yeah, my man. I mean, I thought I liked Kushida. I thought I liked Kushida.
Yeah, I know. Hey, but you know, they throw some of the guys in there too, and it's like, oh, okay. You know, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, you know?
Bro, Koenji, man, that's what I'm talking about, dude. Like,
Right.
him just laying out on the thing, just from bottom up pan shot. I'm like, now I'm not gay, but if I was.
But where's the cheese? I got a great
Yeah. Hey, what you doing later tonight? But yeah, that's pretty much all I have on it. My ranking for it, probably not as high as you would think. I think from a critical standpoint, I think the anime is entertaining. It, unfortunately, it falls under the, like, even though I said it's like I enjoy what the story is doing with the classroom and the competitiveness, not all that unique, just in the sense that, like, I've watched a lot of animes that are like thriller animes that are based in a high school and the classroom is like competing or trying to survive. But the characters are very well done. The art is very well done. You know, I've seen plenty of new episodes here and there of new animes that are coming out, and I'm like, just because the colors look pretty doesn't mean that it actually looks good, because some of these characters in these new animes just don't fucking look good. Where this, characters actually looked good and the art was very, very well done. I love when it's similar to Assassination Classroom, where everybody's hair is one color, and then once you get to the ends of that hair, it's like a little bit lighter. I do really like that aspect. I love that character design and art style. So, critically speaking, I would probably say that the anime is like a 7 out of 10, maybe 7.5. It's entertaining. I want to watch more. Personally speaking, I'm really enjoying it, so I'd probably give it like an 8.
Okay.
I want to watch more. But if you're tired of classroom animes, don't watch it until you really want to watch another classroom anime, and then start with that. Because when you've been watching anime for as long as us, we've almost seen it all.
It's got twists to it, like,
Yeah.
and you know, it adds its little spin on that stuff. I appreciate the thriller comment because, you know, it's referring back to something like King's Game. Like, it's not a King's Game type of thing. It's not like, you know, we're in a classroom setting, but you're gonna die if you don't do this. Like, the stakes aren't that intense, but it certainly tries to stress the importance of like
working together,
yeah.
getting to know one another.
Also, you're at an elite school, and if your livelihood depends on how well you do.
Yeah.
So.
To quote one of the greatest animes of all time, One Piece, wealth, fame, and power, it can all be yours. As long as you're in Class A.
That's right.
Yeah. Cool. Well, yeah, thank you for that suggestion. I am enjoying it. Hopefully, next suggestion is something that's already done, because I now have Haikyuu that I have to wait for. Fuck you. And Classroom of the Elite to wait for. Fuck you.
Alright.
I just want to finish something again. I mean, I know that World God Only Knows finished. Golden Time finished. One of those didn't even really like the ending of, but I'm trying not to throw too much heat at you, because you suggested great animes. Like, honestly, World God Only Knows is definitely one of my favorites now, and Classroom of the Elite, can't wait to watch more. I'm really enjoying it.
Oh man, I had a couple that I wanted to recommend, but they're not done. But I think you've also seen them too.
I also have to think of something, because I was trying to think of something in the shower this morning, but all I could think of was, man, I can't wait to talk about Oresuki. And I also have to know if you've seen something or not.
Oresuki is fantastic. I've got a couple of things that I can throw your way. What are you looking for now?
I mean,
like anything in particular?
I'm still looking for some thriller or horror. I mean, there's an anime that is very well known and very well spoken about, and it's a little bit older of an anime. I want to say mid 2000s, maybe. I don't know if you've seen it, and if you haven't, then it just wouldn't feel right. But it's one that I've been wanting to watch but haven't felt the need to. But I'll mention it later. But if you have any, okay, here's what I'm looking for: thriller, horror, or battle. I'm down with any of those, because I've been on this slice of life train for a little while.
Have you seen Death Note?
No, but I've heard that it's shit compared to Code Geass.
That is true. Whoever said that, I do agree with them.
The only one that I can imagine who would have said that is an Ayana Koji stan, so.
That would also be correct. Okay.
Ooh, I have one for you, actually. It's
Alright, go for it.
It's longer. Not as long as Hunter x Hunter, but longer than your traditional 24 episode anime.
Okay, what are we talking about?
Have you seen Twin Star Exorcist?
I have not.
Ooh. Yes. That is going to be my recommendation for you, is Twin Star Exorcist. Let me just look up how many episodes there are.
So it looks like there's 28 per season. Or not, there's 28. That's what it looks like.
No, there's more.
Oh wait, hang on.
There's
a
50
show
episodes.
more tab. There's 50, yeah.
Yeah, there's 50 episodes. For some reason, it's only showing. Oh, I think S2 Twin Star Exorcist is just. It's just sub. It's not. There's no actual season 2. This Crunchyroll is very weird about their labeling of seasons. But Twin Star Exorcist is basically about two adolescent kids, two, I want to say they're like maybe 15, 16, 17, but it's about these two kids, and they basically get prophesized by this exorcism group. They've been prophesized to basically make a baby that will then basically end the need for exorcisms in the future. Their baby is basically going to be like the savior of the world, and because they've been prophesized to make this baby, this group is like, let's not wait. Let's throw them in a house together and just make them have a baby. But they're like 16, so they're very awkward. They don't even know each other. And they basically have to just start living with each other without even knowing each other. It's very cute, the romance between the two, but it's also a battle anime, and has exorcisms of like, I can't remember, it's been a while, but I remember just absolutely loving Twin Star Exorcist. It was one of those where if you had seen it, which was not a lot of people, then you knew that it was actually pretty good. But yeah, the Destined to Boy Meets Girl. That's the name of the first episode, so that kind of gives you the general idea.
Okay. That is very interesting. Have you seen have you seen Tokyo Revengers?
No, I haven't. I still haven't watched it.
Okay. Then I will give that to you then. Cause that's more of the battle anime that you would be looking for.
I've heard so much about it, and people it went mainstream for a bit. I just never got around to watching it, so I thank you, my friend. And co-host.
Of course. So basically, I looked up a little synopsis because I was looking through my watch list and I was like, what battle anime seems like it would be good, and that he probably hasn't watched. So here's the synopsis I found. In Tokyo Revengers, Takemichi Hanagaki has developed the power to travel back to his time in middle school in 2005. And he wants to do something, I'm not going to tell you what that is. Every time he goes back, he changes result in somebody else being harmed. So he must save the future and figure out a way for everyone to live. And, you know, there's...
This is Tokyo Revengers?
Yep. And he's like, for a show with such a high concept premise, Tokyo Revengers sure loves its battles. Each time Takemichi travels to the past, viewers are treated to some brutal action scenes between the different gangs from his time in middle school. While they might not have superpowers, these are still some of the most engrossing fight scenes in the 2020s.
Which is what I've heard. No idea that there was time travel aspect to it. I just thought it was like a Yu Yu Hakusho minus all the demons. It was just like high schoolers in gangs beating up each other.
Nope, it is. It has some more substance to that, and it is fucking sick.
Okay, all right. All right, cool. I'm excited because that's something that I've been wanting to watch, and everybody talks about it, and apparently the intro slaps. So,
I mean, all Tokyo blank intro slap. Come on. Even though I never watched Tokyo Ghoul, so.
You've never watched Tokyo Ghoul?
Better. No, anime's better. Or the manga's better. Yeah.
Oh well, yes, this is true.
Yeah.
Yes, I even put season 1 Tokyo Ghoul at like an 8 or 9 out of 10, and then everything else like a 1 out of 10, because after season 1 it's just absolute dog shit. But that first season, woo, it actually follows the manga. So if you've read the manga, then you know the whole Jason torture shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, the only thing that I'll say about the torture thing is like when he becomes a ghoul, like the manga panel where that happens is so much better than it in the anime. Like, just if you've seen Tokyo Ghoul, just read those chapters and you'll be like, wow, they really fucked up in the anime. They should have just kept it to the manga. But it's so messed up in the manga.
I'm easily convinced to read Tokyo Ghoul because I absolutely love that first season, and I tried 3 separate times to watch the second season, and I just fell off because I was like, I might as well just read the manga. So.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, good recommendations. What did I recommend to you? Oh, Twin Star Exorcist, and then for me is Tokyo Revengers. Cool. I'm excited. Thank you. I hate doing our podcast later in the week because I'm like, I just want to watch more anime, and I'm like now not wanting to watch anything on my own.
We got it.
Yeah.
Like we got time now. For the viewers, you know, if you haven't watched Code Geass yet, what the fuck are you doing? Watch it already. Tell me how Lelouch is an awesome guy in season 1, and then wait a minute, what's he doing in season 2? You know?
Yeah, and just tell me how Code Geass has some of the best girls in anime in general. In my opinion.
They're nice.
Okay, I didn't know if you agreed or not.
Oh no. I come on, man.
Woo! Oh man, what's her name? It's like almost sounds like an English name, but when they say it in
Callan.
Callan, yeah.
Dude, you got C2, you got Callan, you got Shirley, you got
Shirley.
Yeah, you got Euphemia. Like, come on, man.
Oh my god, dude, you have oh my god, what's her name? I'm blanking on it. It's
Are you thinking of Nunnally?
Nunnally. She, like, not even as a waifu aspect, just a good girl character. Like, she's so sweet. I love her.
Dude, all these Britannias, man, they out here.
Yeah. Did I tell you real quick? Did I tell you that at one point I was gonna adopt a cat when I was like 18, and I was gonna get a male cat, and I was gonna name him, because I was working at Jamba Juice at the time, I was gonna name him Liam Acai Berryman Roscoe Jenkins III v. Britannia.
Oh my god. That's such a long name.
I was gonna get it all lasered onto the fucking thing. But adding that v. Britannia, I was like, yes, this is perfect.
You have to, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot one part. Liam Acai Berryman Roscoe Jenkins III Esquire v. Britannia.
Okay.
Yeah. Or v. Britannia Esquire. Yeah. My recommendation to everyone would be let's see, I think if I could recommend something that I think everybody has to watch, whether or not they like anime or not, would be Full Metal Alchemist. If you haven't seen Full Metal Alchemist, what the fuck are you doing here? Go watch Full Metal Alchemist. What are you, Garnt? Like, go watch it.
Absolute shame that he hasn't watched Full Metal Alchemist yet. Yeah. Either that or Brotherhood. You know, pick your poison.
Yeah.
Obviously, Bailey likes Full Metal Alchemist more. I like Brotherhood more, but hey, both very, very good shows. And my anime list and the entire world seems to agree.
Yeah.
So
I recommend the original because watch it, and if you like it, you'll most likely watch Brotherhood. Like, and then you'll see why original is a lot better than Brotherhood. but we all need to get into that. Okay. We're already past an hour, so you got a hot take?
Ooh, hot take. Not off the top of my head right now. What I will say, you know what, I got one for you that'll make you probably upset.
Okay.
I think Gojo is a better character than Kakashi.
No, it's so wrong. It's so wrong.
Let's go.
No, get us the fuck out of here.